Welcome to the 68th episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I'm Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs for the City of Pueblo.
I'm Heather Graham, City of Pueblo Mayor.
Mayor, we took a little hiatus from the Mayor's Mixtape, so we're finally back. And I do want to remind the listener that you can find us on Buzzsprout, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Lots of opportunities to listen. You can also email us, mayor@pueblo.us, if you want to suggest a topic or a question to Mayor Graham to cover. We have so much to talk about. Mm-hmm. It was a very long night last night at City Council. We did start off with a couple of really exciting proclamations, one for Kim Bowman, and recognizing her commitment to service and her retirement from Posada. We also had Andrew Hayes Day for the work that he did during the Aspen Acres fire. And then we also had a recognition for Mental Health Awareness Month and the call to action to participate in the Memory Walk on September 5th. So it was a good start to the night with a couple of those things. But we had quite a few hot topics. I think maybe we'll start with the shopping cart fee. That's been something that has been in the works and will go into effect January of 2027. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Mayor?
Yeah, sure. So this was an ordinance that I brought forward a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a lot about, why are you targeting the businesses instead of targeting
the retailers?
People?
Yeah,
pushing the carts. And what this ordinance is really about is making sure that these retailers are cleaning up their carts at night, right?
That they're securing them at their facility.
In some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
This doesn't necessarily have to be an additional cost.
Okay.
There was a lot of conversation about, why are you passing this cost on to the retailers? Well, that's not what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're asking retailers to make sure when they close their doors at night that all their carts are removed from the parking lot. So the city of Pueblo isn't having to pick them up. And that's what's been happening for the last several years is when we are going and cleaning up these encampments or driving around town and collecting trash with our community service, there is often shopping carts and many shopping carts.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a location, we can pick up 1,000 carts.
Sure.
And what happens is the store does not want to take these carts back. They do not want to come and pick these carts up. So what happens is it goes on the taxpayer, right? Because the City of Pueblo employees pick the carts up, have to take them to the dump to be melted or disposed of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this sick cycle of, whose shopping cart is this? And why doesn't the retailer want it? It's their property.
Sure.
So when they're just leaving it out in the middle of a prairie, it is your responsibility to take it back when we call, or to have it cleaned up. And so I think over the last couple of years, we've seen many of our retailers put a plan together on how they're going to collect their carts at night, make sure that they're not leaving their property, which is really what the goal of the ordinance was. So I think we've already established and met that goal, but the fines and the fees had to be processed as part of the original ordinance that passed City Council a couple years ago. I don't necessarily foresee the city fining these retailers because everyone's done a pretty decent job of doing what they need to do to make sure that their carts aren't traveling around the city.
Yeah, and whether that's like the locking mechanism on the wheel of the car, or if it's asking staff to make more rounds of out in the parking lot or whatever that looks like. There's a couple of ways that they can put that plan in place.
Yeah, because if you are a business owner and you have a cart left at your business, to have the trash company take it is an additional charge to your business. Same thing with the city. When the city is cleaning them up, it's pretty expensive for us to take those and dump them. So this is was one of our goals a couple years ago, and we've seen it come full circle now.
Okay, great. Okay, another big topic of discussion last night was the battle grant that the police department plans to accept. It's my understanding that this grant is something that the city has applied for and received for at least
2009.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say,
despite what some of our citizens spoke about last
over
night,
a decade,
the city has received this grant since 2009.
Sure. So that actually was tabled for the second reading vote until September 14th, and a planned work session is Tuesday, September 8th. So we'll anticipate a little more in-depth conversation around that and what that looks like.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
That's what City Council wants to do, so
sure.
We'll hear from City Council.
Okay. Well, let's get to the elephant in the room, don't you think?
Well, which one?
True. That's true. Yeah, last night was a lot.
Yeah.
So we had packed chambers to start. Like I mentioned, we had those proclamations and recognitions. So it was packed chambers to start and standing room only, and then we had folks that were waiting. And the folks that were waiting then came for this next piece, which was the Leonardo da Vinci Museum and the half-cent sales tax allocation for that ordinance. So that was a lively discussion, I think, for probably about 2 hours last night.
At least, yeah.
I know we started about 8:30, and I don't know, I left here at like 11:20 after. So I think there was at least 2 hours of discussion about this, but the proposal is then to table it until September 14th and to bring them back for a work session with discussion of more in-depth financials, their budget, their ticket sales, and get some additional questions answered by council.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this has been a long process with our friends from the Da Vinci Museum. As you know, they were granted the use of the Bull Rider Sports Performance Center in February of 2025. They have been working on this project for several years before, having community meetings, trying to select a location. They finally selected a location. They had come to City Council several times to say what their plan was. During those first few months, they did in fact say that they would not need money from the government. And what has changed, I think this is the most important part, is previously they could not apply for money from the government.
The half-cent sales tax.
The half-cent sales tax fund. Because they were not part of the RTA. And the criteria had not been changed. The criteria was not changed until February of 2026. So just like the other 20 applicants that Advanced Pueblo has received to this point, they applied for funding for jobs that they were bringing to the community. And they also applied under placemaking, which is renovation. Has a lot to do with tourism and trying to bring people to our community. Hence placemaking. And so they originally sent an application in for $1.8 million. You heard Mr. Arrigo talk about last night why that kind of changed, and it really had to do with the timeline of when they first applied for the funds, and then now all the way to August when they're open. They know how many employees they have, and they know what that looks like. So they've reduced their ask to only the placemaking section. So I bet you, we have had 5 different executive sessions with City Council on the Da Vinci. And we've provided City Council with a full application. We actually had members of the Da Vinci come in and talk to Advanced Pueblo and pitch their their whole project to Councilor Boston and Councilor Hernandez
Okay.
in April. We took it to City Council. City Council says move it forward. So ordinance are drafted. Agreements have been drafted. City Council has delayed, I'll call it, this process for this project since April.
Okay.
And it was very frustrating and disappointing last night to hear several of them say that they still had additional questions. Because quite frankly, not any of them outside of President Aliff asked for any additional information or questions since this first went on, first presentation 2 weeks ago. So to grandstand and hold the community back because you, City Council, are unprepared for your council meeting, it's disappointing. And I think that the community is very disappointed in City Council, and I think that they should be.
Okay. So we'll anticipate that the next steps include the work session. Will there be any other supplemental information that's provided, or what
They
exactly
have
does that
all
look
of
like?
the information.
Okay.
It's been provided several times, so I'm not really sure what their questions are. I know that Councilor Hernandez had a question, tell us about your ticket sales. And Mr. Arrigo tried to really explain, well, it's not just about the ticket sales or the visitors, because those come in a different fashion, right? Some are membership based, some are students, some are kids, some are adults, some are seniors. I can't just tell you we've had 13,000 people and the tickets were $12 a piece. And we've made 400,000.
Okay.
There's different tiers, there are different prices. And to Mr. Riga's defense, he was never asked any of these questions to be prepared for.
Yeah.
So why would you bring that? It's kind of interesting. And you know what else is interesting is when we talk about grilling a citizen in the way that Mr. Arrigo was grilled last night over a total project cost of $885,000. These same city council members who in fact did the grilling were two of the city council members who were just ready to hand Project Falcon over $65 million to bring their business to our community without ever seeing a single financial document or a single plan from Project Falcon. So you really have to wonder what is going on with City Council and why are they behaving this way? Okay. So I think the public should ask those questions. And I hope City Council gets their act together because this project's good. It's good for our community.
There was quite a bit of support last night.
There was over 20 people.
Yeah, I was going to say
who got up and
20
spoke, and
more.
we had 2 naysayers. So I think that the public has spoken.
Sure.
The people who care about the project have spoken, and the community has spoken about they want to see their tax dollars being spent differently, and they do not want to see them sit in a bank and be unused.
Yeah. I think one person in particular that shocked a lot of people, and she jokingly even mentioned it, was former city councilor Barb Vidmar.
Yeah.
And she was one of the folks that spoke against the change in criteria for the ordinance. But then she spoke in favor of the allocation and how it fit the criteria. There were quite a few gasps in the crowd, and I thought it was pretty funny just that she could make light of the situation and say, I think you all are surprised to see me, considering the last time I was here was in February.
So good of a project this is.
I thought that was interesting.
It's a shame.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think it's going to get done, so we
just have to wait
another keep moving. I mean,
couple weeks.
Well, we've been waiting since April. What's a couple more weeks at this point, right? For something good that's already in our community, and hopefully we can retain it and expand it.
Sure. Okay. Well, after that, it continued to be lively at City Council last night. So the remaining 4 ordinances on the agenda were the sales tax ballot measures. So we had 4 0.25% sales tax measures. The first one was for parks, pools, and programming. The second was for roads and infrastructure. The third was for nonprofit or non-departmental funding, our contractual agreements that we have at the city. And then the final was for fire and technology. The first 3 failed in a 4-3 vote, so those will not be on the ballot in November. And the last one, the fire and technology, passed 5-2. So that will be on the ballot come November. And I thought maybe you could share with us what the allocation looks like, what the taxpayers could anticipate if that ballot measure were to pass, what it would go towards.
Sure. So the only one that passed was the fire and technology. And when presented, we talked about new fire apparatus.
Sure.
As we know that many of our fire trucks are 30-plus years.
Right.
So they're kind of getting to the point of not being able to use them. So it would be mainly for apparatus and equipment for the fire trucks. An apparatus is about $1.5 million. So pretty expensive. That's just the basic costs, and then everything they have to put on it. And then the technology side is technology as it relates to public safety. So that could be the radios, the body-worn cameras.
Sure.
Any kind of technology that has to do with fire or police.
Like our RMS
CAD. Yeah.
Yeah. So the technology that's used with dispatchers for both police and fire, and then like equipment that's in vehicles that our emergency responders use.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was interesting that they decided that, actually, we need to pass this on to the people of Pueblo instead of just, make the vote ourselves here tonight. Those ballot questions took a long time for city staff to do. We incorporated requests from city council on what they also wanted to see. I had 4 different town halls where we went and spoke to community members about things that they want funded, right?
Sure.
There was a big conversation earlier this year about the cutting of the tennis program.
Sure.
In 2028, it's going to be more than just the tennis program that is going to be cut because the city will not have the financial means to support any programs that are being ran out of the city of Pueblo. In fact, we will probably have to do significant layoffs. Going into 2028's budget, we know we have about $1.2 million left with a $10 million deficit. Okay. So the goal of the budget, the goal of the questions for the ballot measures was to let the people of Pueblo decide how they want their tax dollars to be spent, whether that was road maintenance and infrastructure, whether that was continuing to fund all of the nonprofits that the city funds through contractual agreements like the zoo, like HSPPR, like the Nature Center. It costs the city about $5 million a year to fund all of those programs. Sure. So there would be a specific allocation, and then the pools and the parks and the programs. So it's unfortunate that city council took that into their hands last night to make the decision for the public without any solutions moving forward to the public. I've yet to hear one city councilor provide an actual solution to the city's budget. All they want to do is criticize the very budget that they pass every single year without any input or problem solving put into the actual budget as they continue to spend money week after week after week. I mean, I think out of their contingencies last night, they spent $8,000 to $10,000 on just sponsorships. So each of those requests adds up to the overall city budget. So city council is the sole authority when it comes to spending the city of Pueblo's money. So I'm curious to see what city council is going to do next year when we have these budget constraints.
And it's my understanding that council has, a few of our council members have attended the budget meetings that you've held with directors. Has there been conversation about what it looks like to move forward or input there?
No. So they've come to the meetings. They've taken it in. We had the budget presentations that they requested. We'll be back on the 31st. But, I mean, the budget is pretty much set at this point.
Okay.
And it'll be making its way through City Council and for approval over the next couple months.
So then next steps with this ballot measure, this along with the ballot measure for the zoo tax will go to the county clerk and recorder and be put on the November ballot. And then we'll see it on election day for voters to decide what they'd like to do.
Yep.
Okay. What else am I missing, Mayor?
I don't know. There's been so much.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we were back on the podcast, so I know we got a couple of emails, a couple of Facebook messages, a couple of people called City Hall and said, "Wait, are you done with the podcast forever?"
Yeah.
No, we were just on a short hiatus. Yeah. So it's nice to be back.
We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know when that one will air, but
Sure.
President Aliff wants to be a guest tomorrow. So
Yeah, I think that'll be great.
Maybe we'll have 2 this week. I don't know yet. We'll have to plan that out and see how it works. Maybe we'll do a couple every week.
Okay.
So we can make sure that we're getting accurate information out into our community, because that seems to be an issue.
Sure. Okay. Well, we do have a couple of upcoming events. It starts the Colorado State Fair this weekend. We'll be at the Legislative Barbecue on Friday, but very exciting. The Colorado State Fair Parade is Saturday. The city is float number 5, and so we're excited for that. I know we've been working on the float starting this week. Also want to remind everyone, I know school started, but our pools are still open. City Park pool is still open. Also, Mayor, your favorite day of the year at the pool is coming.
Dog days.
Yep, pups at the pool. That's Monday, September 7th from 9 to 11 a.m. And also the second session is 12 to 2. And it's $5 a dog, and the humans are free. But also, since students are back in school, we still have the rides at City Park. Those are open. The hours are a little bit different in the fall, so that's Fridays from 5 to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from 2 to 8 p.m., and that's through October 17th. So still plenty of opportunity to get out, enjoy our parks programs, and get a couple more swim days in before Labor Day hits. So that's exciting. Any other events that I'm missing that you know of?
No.
I know there's always lots going on, so those are at least the city things that we have going on.
Yep.
Okay, well, want to remind you to find us on Buzzsprout, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, you can email us, mayor@pueblo.us, and we will cover your topic suggestion, or you can ask questions of the mayor. Tell your friends and neighbors and family. Like, subscribe, share, and rate our podcast. And we'll see you next week.